look around us. As we look at the things around us, we can see a natural landscape such as forest, a river, a mountain, or a combination of these elements. Our lives are linked with our surroundings and inevitably affects them. We use water to drink, air to breathe, and we use resources from which food is made, and we depend on the community of living plants and animals. Everything around us forms our environment and our lives as intact as possible. Being dependent to our environment will push us to know more and protect our environment, or commonly called as our Mother Nature. Environmental science will help us understand it. Environmental science deals with every issue that affects an organism. It is essentially a multidisciplinary approach that brings about an appreciation of natural world. It is an applied science as it seeks practical answers to making human civilization sustainable on the Earth's finite resources. Since we are talking about natural resources, the natural resources include air, water, soil, and minerals. Our environment provides us with a variety of goods that we need daily. The most abundant element in our environment is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, which covers 96% of the Earth's surface. The resources on which mankind is dependent are provided by various sources or spheres. It is the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and the biosphere. Atmosphere. The atmosphere forms a protective shell over the Earth. It is the body of gases that surrounds our planet, held in place by Earth's gravity. It gives oxygen for human respiration, oxygen for wild fauna in natural ecosystem, and oxygen as a part of carbon dioxide used to grow plants. The upper portion of the atmosphere protects the organisms of the biosphere from the sun's ultraviolet radiation. Hydrosphere. The hydrosphere covers 3/4 of the Earth's surface. A major part of the hydrosphere is the marine ecosystem in the ocean, while only a small part occurs in fresh water. It provides clean water for drinking, washing, and cooking, for agriculture and industry. It also provides food from the sea and fresh water. Lithosphere. The lithosphere, sometimes called the geosphere, refers to all of the rocks of the Earth. It includes the planet's mantle and crust. Lithosphere contains soil, the basis for agriculture to provide us with food, stone, sand, and gravel used for construction, oil, coal, and gas extracted from underground sources that provides power for vehicles, agricultural machinery, industry, and for our homes. Biosphere. The biosphere is composed of all living organisms, plants, and animals. This is the relatively thin layer of the Earth in which life can exist. Within it, the air, water, rocks, and soil, and living creatures. It has food from crops and domestic animals, timber, and construction materials. We already know that natural resources by nature support life. And now, we are going to know the two types of natural resources, renewable and non-renewable resources. When we say renewable resources, it is our resources that can be replenished by natural processes as quickly as humans use them. Living things like plants and animals are considered to be renewable. This is because they can reproduce to replace themselves. However, they can be overused or misused to the point of extinctions. Renewable resources also produce clean energy, meaning less pollution and greenhouse emissions, which contribute to climate change. While non-renewable resources, it is our resources that will run out or will not be replenished for thousands or even millions of years. Most sources of non-renewable energy are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were created as the remains of marine creatures decayed millions of years ago under huge amounts of pressure and heat. Most fossil fuels are burned to create energy and electricity. Coal is a type of rock that is a fossil fuel. Earth, minerals, and metal ores are examples of non-renewable resources. The metals themselves are present in vast amounts in Earth's crust, and their extraction by human only occurs when they are concentrated by natural geological processes such as heat, pressure, organic activity, weathering, and other processes enough to become economically viable to extract. Let's proceed to the two types of energy, the renewable energy and the non-renewable energy. Renewable energy systems use resources that are constantly replaced and are usually less polluting. Examples include hydropower, solar, wind, and geothermal. We also get renewable energy from burning trees and even garbage as fuel and processing other plants into biofuels. One day, all our homes may get their energy from the sun or the wind. Your car's gas tank will use biofuel. Your garbage might contribute to your city's energy supply. Renewable energy technologies will improve the efficiency and cost of energy systems. We may reach the point when we may no longer rely mostly on fossil fuel energy. Let me give you examples of renewable energy technologies. First is the solar energy. Sunlight is one of our planet's most abundant and freely available energy resources. The amount of solar energy that reaches the Earth's surface in 1 hour is more than the planet's total energy requirement for a whole year. Solar energy is radiant light and heat from the sun that is harnessed using a range of ever-evolving technologies such as solar heating, photovoltaics, solar thermal energy, solar architecture, molten salt, power plants, and artificial photosynthesis. Solar is one of the fastest growing and cheapest sources of power in the world and will continue to spread rapidly in the coming years. With solar panel technology improving each year, the economic benefits of solar improve, adding to environmental perks of choosing a clean, renewable energy source. Although it sounds like a perfect renewable energy source, the amount of solar energy we can use varies according to the time of the day and the season of the year as well as geographical location. Wind energy. Wind is a plentiful source of clean energy. Wind energy is a form of solar energy. Wind energy describes the process by which wind is used to generate electricity. Wind turbines convert the kinetic energy in the wind into mechanical power. A generator can convert mechanical power into electricity. Mechanical power can also be utilized directly for specific tasks such as pumping water. Hydro energy. Hydroelectric energy, also called hydroelectricity, is a form of energy that harnesses the power of water in motion, such as water flowing over a waterfall to generate electricity. Most hydroelectric power plants have a reservoir of water, a gate or valve to control how much water flows out of the reservoir, and an outlet or place where the water ends up after flowing downward. Water gains potential energy just before it spills over the top of a dam or flows down a hill. The potential energy is converted into kinetic energy as water flows downhill. The water can be used to turn the blades of a turbine to generate electricity, which is distributed to the power plant's customers. Tidal energy. Tidal energy is power produced by the surge of ocean waters during the rise and fall of tides. Turbines are placed in tidal streams. A tidal stream is a fast-flowing body of water created by tides. A turbine is a machine that takes energy from a flow of fluid. That fluid can be air or liquid. Because water is much more dense than air, tidal is more powerful than wind energy. Unlike wind, tides are predictable and stable. Where tidal generators are used, they produce a steady, reliable stream of electricity. Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is heat derived within the subsurface of the earth. Water or stream carry the geothermal energy to the earth's surface. Depending on its characteristics, geothermal energy can be used for heating and cooling purposes or be harnessed to generate clean electricity. The main advantages are it is not depending on weather conditions and has very high capacity factors. For these reasons, geothermal power plants are capable of supplying baseload electricity, as well as providing ancillary services for short and long-term flexibility in some cases. Biomass energy. Biomass energy is energy generated or produced by living or once-living organisms. The most common biomass materials used for energy are plants, such as corn and soy. The energy from these organisms can be burned to create heat or converted into electricity. Biomass is organic, meaning it is made of material that comes from living organisms. The most common biomass materials used for energy are plants, wood, and waste. Let's proceed to the non-renewable energy. Non-renewable energy comes from sources that will run out or will not be replenished for thousands or even millions of years. Most sources of non-renewable energy are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were created as the remains of marine creatures decayed millions of years ago under huge amounts of pressure and heat. Most fossil fuels are burned to create energy and electricity. And that's it for Introduction to Environmental Science. See you again in my next video. Fight!